Hi crafters, Karen here, and in today's video, it's a whole new challenge for 2025. Beth from Bourbon Creek Crafts is hosting the 2025 Craft with 5 Challenge. It is a collaboration hop, so be sure to click on the playlist link that you see in the description box so you can see the collaborators' views on our projects that we'll be making for this month. Now, the Craft with 5 challenge is you are given 5 items per month. And for the month of January, we will be focusing on hearts, the colors red and pink, any embossing folder, and any brads or eyelets that you have in your stash. And the idea for this challenge is to go into your stash and use what you already have. Now you can see here that I have this card, and I actually cut that out and printed it from my Cricut. I have the whole year's worth from Beth. She had given us, she sent us an email, and I went ahead and printed out each month because I wanted to have a copy of this in my stash so that I can go back and revisit these anytime that I want to go ahead and use more things that I have in my stash. Now you can see I have a big pile here of things that I will be using, and we're going to go ahead and get started with that. Now, what I did, and I'm not sure what the other collaborators did with this, but I decided that because I have 5 items, I would make 5 different cards. Now, I'm using all the same supplies, everything that is required of me to use of these 5 items, but I created different cards using them. So for card number 1, you see that I have this little coin and it's got a heart in the center. This was actually a freebie collection from Tailored Expressions in 2023. So anytime you made a purchase, you would get this coin for free. And there was a coin for each month. And I believe there was actually a total of 14. And there is a magnetic sheet that holds them. I don't have the sheet right now. I did order it, so I should be getting that soon. And then I used my Dots embossing folder from the Paper Studio. I'm also using the Big Dots Sentiment, the Love Ya, and then on the back side there is a die that goes with it. And then I pulled out some brads that I had in my stash. So basically what I did was I cut out all those hearts, saved the hearts from the coin, and in the stamp set you can see that there is a die and it punched out all those circles. So I glued down the circles, and then all the hearts that I cut out from the coin, I put those in my embossing folder to get that those dotted looks. And then I added the sentiment in the center. I put the brads in each corner of that rectangle, and then I did use the negative of the coin for 2 of those hearts that you see on either side of the sentiment. And that is what I did for card number 1. So we'll go ahead and move into card number 2. Here I am using the circle sentiments I got these from Hobby Lobby. And I also brought in this zigzag border embossing folder from Cuttlebug. And this is no longer in stock, and neither are those circle stamps. And what caught my eye with this embossing folder is the zigzags kind of reminded me of what your heart rate would look like on a heart rate monitor. And because I was making a love card, I thought that would look really cute embossed on those strips that I had cut out. And I used my designer template 2 die set for those strips, and then for that circle with the that strip along it that you see the sentiment on. And you can see that I have the 2 hearts on either side, and I just brought those in from my stash. And then that rectangle that I layered all the strips on was from the stitched indented rectangles from the Elizabeth Craft Designs. Moving on to card number 3. This was a fun one to make. This was probably my favorite one. And again, I brought in my large dots embossing folder, and then I used this basket weave die set from Tailored Expressions. And it cuts out those strips, and then once I cut it out, I put it in my embossing folder, ran that through, and then I added some double-sided adhesive, foam adhesive on the back of that, and layered that over a piece of patterned paper that I had in my stash. That was a piece of pattern paper from Creative Memories. And then I did use my heart stacklets to cut out those 2 hearts, one in vellum and one in pink shimmer. I brought in an eyelet that I had, or excuse me, a brad that I had in my stash, and just placed that in the center of that O for the XO. And then I had those stickers, the love and then the triangle with the hearts, in my stash. Now for card number 4, again, I used the large dots embossing folder. And for my sentiments, I used the sentiments stack from Hero Arts, and I chose the Sending Warm Fuzzies. And then I pulled out the 2 more brads from my stash, and those brads are kind of like a glittery, have a glittery look to it. And then those 3 postage stamps that you see in the center, that is from my Pretty Postage stamp collection. This was also a freebie collection. Anytime you make a purchase, you would get a stamp. So each month that you would make a purchase, no matter the quantity or the amount, you would get a free stamp, postage stamp. And so I used the month of February, which is the envelope with the hearts. And now for card number 5, my final card, I made a 4-panel card here, and I brought in 4 different embossing folders. And I also, you can see there, I'm showing you a red, dark red, kind of like glittery foiled eyelet that I had. And on that pail there was a hole, like a handle. And you could see that's where I placed the brad. And then this this border punch is from Creative Memories, and I punched out a lot of those hearts to layer in the pail. And for my sentiment, the Love You, I got that from the Altogether Occasions 2 stamp and die set from Tailored Expressions. So you get anywhere from like 8 to 10 sentiments. You stamp it once, and then you take the die, you run it through your die cutting machine, and you get all those sentiments in from one run of the Big Shot. And then here are the embossing folders that I used. So I brought in the Quilted Squares by Derice to make that bottom left square. This is the finial press, and that is the top left rectangle. I have the Inspire embossing folder, and that was used for the bottom right square. And then the top, I used my Divine Swirls, and that was from Cuttlebug. And I used my stacklets, my heart stacklets, to cut out some of those bigger hearts, and I basically just layered those behind the pail to make it look like there was a full basket of hearts. This wraps up another video, and I hope it has inspired you to give this challenge a try. So try to go in your stash, use up these 5 items, and see what you can create. Until my next video, I hope your day is a crafty day. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.